Today, we're diving into the premiere episode of The Next Prince, one of the most hyped Thai BLs in forever. I will be honest with you guys, this show has been on my radar for ages, and let me tell you, episode 1 did not disappoint. We're talking top-tier production, epic world building, and a vibe that's giving Jane Austen meets political intrigue with a side of touching romance moments. So, grab your snacks, settle in, and let's break down why this first episode is everything we hoped for and more. This is gonna be a 10-minute deep dive, so stick with me, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more reviews. Alright, let's set the stage. The Next Prince is set in the fictional kingdom of Emily, and episode 1 wastes no time pulling us into its world. We kick off with a super clever intro narrated by That Danai, who's telling a young Khanin, our main character, a bedtime story about Emily's history. It's like a fairy tale setup, but it's actually laying out the stakes and explaining why Khanin is a big deal and how this country's politics work. I love how they used That Danai's voiceover here. It's not just some random narrator, it's personal, it's intimate, and it sets the tone for the family drama we're about to unpack. Plus, it's a fresh spin on the classic BL voiceover trope. Major props for that. Now, let's talk about Emily itself. The production quality is insane. Did you know all the paintings in this show were hand-painted just for it? That's the kind of detail we're working with here. The orchestral score? Chef's kiss. The sets and the costumes show that this BL is a big-budget fantasy project, and I love it. But here's the thing, we don't actually spend much time in Emily this episode. Most of the action happens in London, where Khanin's been living, but trust me, it's still a wild ride. So, we meet Charan, played by the amazing Zee Pruk. He's a royal guard for King Thaipakbawan, and we get our first taste of action within, 5 minutes. Charan's summoned to meet the king, but suddenly some dude with a knife attacks him. The camera work here is so cool, slow motion, tilted angles and much more. Kudos to the production team. It's tense, it's thrilling, and even though Charan's a main character, so you know nothing bad would happen to him this early, you're still on edge because you don't understand what's happening. Turns out, it's a test orchestrated by the king to check Charan's skills. And let me tell you, Charan passes with flying colors. This guy's a badass. The scene with the king is where things get interesting. They're talking in code. Charan asks what kind of tea the king wants, which is really him asking what this meeting's about. The king goes on about Earl Grey, imported from England, which is code for, "Go get my grandson Khanin from London." I love this subtlety. It's not spoon-feeding us, it's trusting us to pick up on the vibes. The king's worried about something, maybe even someone close to him, and that sets up this undercurrent of political intrigue. You can feel the tension, and it's only episode 1. Now, let's talk about Khanin, played by Nunew Chawarin. He's living in London, fencing in competitions, and just trying to live his best life. But here's my one gripe, his friends in England? Their English feels a bit off. I understand that they're not native speakers, but if they're supposed to be British students, it's a little jarring. Thailand has actors who are fluent in English, so I wish they'd leaned into that. Also, did this have to be set in England? They even gave Khanin an anglicized name, but no one pronounces it right, so what's the point? Okay, rant over. Let's move on. Alright, let's zoom in on the moment Charan crashes into Khanin's world at one of his fencing matches in London. Khanin, played by the phenomenal Nunew Chawarin, locks eyes with this mysterious stranger in the crowd, and you can feel his curiosity spike. Is it Charan's intense, almost judgmental stare that catches him off guard? Because, wow, Charan, who was brought to life by Zee Pruk, is clearly not impressed with Khanin's fencing skills. His face is this perfect mix of stoic disapproval and subtle amusement, like he's already sizing Khanin up and finding him wanting. It's such a hilarious beat, and Zee's micro-expressions sell it completely. Charan's not just a royal guard, he's a master of throwing shade without saying a word. Later, when Khanin spots Charan tailing him through the busy London streets, his instincts kick into high gear. I love that Khanin's not some oblivious rich kid, he's got this sharp situational awareness that hints at the resilience he'll need when the royal drama hits. It's such a promising setup, showing us Khanin's not just a pampered fencer but someone who can sense trouble brewing, even if he doesn't yet know the full scope of his destiny. Their first conversation is an absolute masterclass in character dynamics, bursting with tension and personality. Khanin, brimming with youthful bravado, assumes Charan doesn't speak English and starts mouthing off, his words dripping with the confidence of someone who's used to getting his way. Then, in a classic misstep, he jumps to the conclusion that Charan's hitting on him, because, of course, why else would this intense guy be staring? Charan, meanwhile, is all calm, collected precision. He shuts Khanin down with a razor-sharp critique of his fencing technique, calling it sloppy and predictable in this deadpan tone that's both savage and effortlessly cool. Then, without missing a beat, he just walks away, leaving Khanin visibly frustrated and flustered, his ego bruised but his curiosity piqued. This exchange is pure fire. Nunew plays Khanin's mix of indignation and intrigue perfectly, while Zee's Charan exudes this quiet authority that screams, "I'm not here for your nonsense." Their chemistry is electric, a complete departure from their Cutie Pie roles, where Nunew was softer and Zee more protective. Here, Khanin's royal status gives him a theoretical upper hand, but Charan's seasoned confidence and refusal to indulge Khanin's attitude flip the power dynamic in the most delicious way. What makes this scene so compelling is how it sets up their relationship as a constant tug-of-war. Khanin's impulsive, a bit spoiled, and quick to assume he's in control, but there's this underlying vulnerability. He's been raised in the dark about his true identity, and you can sense his need for answers bubbling beneath the surface. Charan, on the other hand, is disciplined, guarded, and clearly used to following orders, but his subtle smirks and piercing glances hint at a deeper complexity. Is he amused by Khanin's defiance? Annoyed? Maybe a bit of both? There's a moment when Khanin tests Charan's fencing advice later and realizes it's spot on, and you see this flicker of grudging respect in Nunew's performance. Khanin's not ready to admit it, but Charan's already challenging him to rethink his approach. Meanwhile, Charan's restraint feels deliberate, like he's holding back his true thoughts, perhaps because he knows Khanin's the king's grandson and the weight of that responsibility. The way Charan navigates this interaction suggests he's not just a bodyguard but someone who's going to push Khanin to grow, whether Khanin likes it or not. Things escalate when Khanin finds out Charan's staying at his house and apparently knows his foster dad, that Daouoffroad. Khanin's like, what is going on? And honestly, he's got every right to be a brat about it because everyone's keeping secrets from him and it definitely doesn't feel good to be left out of the loop like that. Then we get to the party scene, and oh my gosh, it's wild. In the novel, it's a chill get-together, but the show turns it into this over-the-top rager straight out of an American teen movie. And of course, someone suggests the Pocky game. Because what's a BL without some forced proximity, right? So, Khanin and Charan end up playing, and we get this almost kiss with a neck grab that had me screaming. It's not the tired oops, we fell and kissed trope, thank goodness. But hey, race the deal. In Emily, a kiss is a big deal, like a love binding, forever and ever thing. Charan's shocked, and at first, you think it's because Khanin's royalty, but nope, it's because that was probably Charan's first kiss. And Khanin's out here touching his lips later, thinking about it. This is peak romance, and I'm living for it. The big reveal comes when Khanin overhears Charan and that Daouoffroad talking. Turns out, that Daouoffroad isn't his real dad. He's been raising Khanin in secret after Khanin's mom was killed in an attack when he was a kid. Khanin's actually the king's grandson, and now that the king's abdicating, Khanin has got to compete to be the next monarch. The scene where that Daouoffroad breaks the news is gut-wrenching. Nunew's acting? Phenomenal. Khanin's sobbing, begging for a normal life, and that Daouoffroad switches to formal language, even bowing. It's such a powerful moment. Khanin tries to process it all, but he's not having it. He tells that Daouoffroad he's not going back to Emily. But then from nowhere, the episode ends with assassins breaking in. Charan and that Daouoffroad take down the first wave, but Khanin, our fencing champ, grabs a vase instead of a sword. I'm gonna give him a pass because he's in shock and fencing does not prepare someone for a real combat situation. Things go south when more attackers show up with guns, and a shot goes off. Cliffhanger alert. Why do they do this to us? Overall, this episode is a banger. The budget is clearly there, amazing cinematography, intricate costumes, and a story that's got me hooked. The behind-the-scenes documentary shows how much love went into this, and it pays off. I am already counting down the days until episode 2. Now let's look at some fan reactions. One reviewer on my drama list said, This drama is one of kind, it has everything: great storyline, plot, fantastic and experienced actors of Thai industry, royal theme, love story, fighting scenes, phenomenal background score and OST. All in all, this drama is a full package to enjoy. I am so in for this. Zee Pruk and Nunew Chawarin are great actors, they never disappoint their fans. Offgun is an excellent director, and with his direction and cinematography skills I am sure you will fall in love with this drama. Another reviewer said. Amazing. The Next Prince is genuinely such a strong start from the very first episode. It's clear how much love and effort went into this series. Nunew's acting has grown so much. He brings so much emotion and depth to every scene. We can feel everything he's trying to say, even in the quietest moments. It's such a joy to watch him evolve as an actor. And Zee. His action scenes are so cool and smooth, he makes it look effortless. Definitely one of the standouts of the series so far. The cinematography is also stunning. Every shot feels intentional, and the setting looks rich, detailed, and cinematic. This series isn't just visually stunning, it's pushing Thai BL to the next level. Ambitious, emotional, beautifully crafted. Another review said. Simply incredible, everything in this blog is perfect, the photography is beautiful, the actors act very well and the story is captivating. The fight scenes are amazing, with impeccable camera shots. The scene where Nunew cries when he discovers the truth is moving. It will definitely become one of my favorite BL. What did you think of the premiere? Are you Team Khanin, Team Charan, or just here for the Pocky game? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's scream about this together. If you enjoyed this review and recap, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more The Next Prince goodness.